Today we're road tripping in true struggle style. That means we're going to the store. We're gonna mimic some beloved regional favorites from home. Buckle up. We're making a classic Italian beef sandwich, crispy fried chicken, and saucy poutine. Tell your taste buds to book a ticket and pack their bags. We're gonna take a first-class trip on a struggle budget.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
We're gonna make Italian beef. This is a classic Italian-American Chicago sandwich. It's slow-cooked, juicy beef with spicy pickled vegetables. I'm gonna start with chuck roast. This is an affordable cut of meat with a ton of flavor. It also has a lot of fat, which makes it perfect to braise. First, we're gonna get a nice sear on here and start developing flavor. So, we got our Dutch oven here. We're gonna get it nice and hot. Let's aggressively salt and pepper each side. This looks good. I'm gonna come in with some neutral oil here, and a fair bit of it. Meat goes in. Don't mess with it too much. Let that crust develop. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'm gonna take a look. If it has a little wiggle, it's usually a good sign, because that means it's no longer stuck to the pan. And that's looking really nice. Let's cook another side. One of the most important steps in flavor building is getting the brown on that meat, because brown is flavor. All right, next side. We sear this on all sides, and then we're gonna braise it, which means we need a flavorful liquid. So let's start working on that while this is happening. We've got an onion here, and then we'll just get some slices of onion. We got some garlic here. Let's give it a little boop. All right, so let's take a look at our beef again. We've seared it on all sides. It's not cooked through, so I can use the same plate as before, and that's good because that just cuts down on dishes. Now we're gonna start building the flavorful broth that will braise the meat in. We're gonna start with these onions. These onions will sweeten up, be delicious. Oh, I smell it already. I'm throwing in my garlic. Give this a little stir. This is a really great start, but we can add even more flavor. Let's head to the package drawer for some red pepper flakes. Red pepper coming in. We're gonna add some garlic powder, dried oregano. So adding this not only adds flavor, but it really touches on that nostalgia. That is the Italian-American cuisine. Let's stir this up. Let's hit our onions with a little bit of salt. You can really smell all the dried spices that we put in here. It's hitting a chord with me. All right, so that's looking nice. The onions have absorbed a lot of the flavor that the beef rendered out. We've woken up our spices. Let's make this broth happen. The most affordable way to make this broth is by using bouillon cubes. 1, 2. Let's turn that bouillon into broth by adding water. Drop the water! I paid $799 for a weekend pass for that. Now that we've got a super flavorful liquid, I think we can add even more fresh aromatics. Let's head over to the herb garden where I paid for these herbs once and they keep giving me dividends. Some fresh thyme is gonna go really well with our beefy flavor. It's also gonna be awesome in making our broth taste extra special. So I got my thyme sprigs. I'm just gonna put that right in there. Let's get the beef in the flavorful broth. Here we go. You can see the beef is sticking out the top of the liquid. This is exactly what we want. If it's completely submerged, you're actually poaching, and it's not gonna yield the same texture. Make sure you can see the top of the iceberg. Let's bring this to a simmer. I'm gonna shut off the heat. We're gonna cover this, and this is gonna go in the oven and finish cooking. 325, a pretty low temperature, for 2.5 to 3 hours. It's gonna be low and slow, but that's what's gonna make all that tough fat melt. This sandwich has green bell peppers that are sauteed, so let's do that. We're just gonna cut some thin strips. We're gonna put a little bit of oil in the pan, just a little bit. Get our peppers in there. We'll hit these peppers with a little salt. So I'm gonna saute down these peppers until they get soft and shrink a little. In the meantime, let's grab our beef. Let's get our beef out of the pan. You can see it is really allowed a lot of juice to come out. We're gonna use 2 Struggle Whisk 7500s, and you're gonna see how tender our beef is. You can't achieve this with just searing. It needs to be a multi-hour braise. That looks great. This is the perfect amount of shred for me. I still wanna feel the texture. That super flavorful braising liquid is gonna become our dipping sauce. We just grab a little strainer here. We get a ladle. We come in and just get that broth. All right, we've got all our components ready. We got our rolls, we got our braised beef, we've got our sauteed peppers, and we've got our giardiniera, which is basically a spicy pickled cauliflower with some other veggies. This cuts through the richness. It's fundamental. Let's assemble our sandwiches. Get a little bit of color. And some of the giardiniera. This smells amazing. I got my sandwich, I got my dipping broth. This looks fantastic. We got this juicy beef and then all the colorful vegetables on top, and it's only $2.19 a serving. And I can't wait to dig in. It's clear why Chicago loves this. Salty, fatty, juicy beef. Sharp, bright, colorful vegetables. On a sandwich with a dipping sauce. I don't think you could get any more flavor on a bun for this price anywhere. Beignets are one of my favorite treats. These puffy squares covered in powdered sugar have French origins, but they're commonly associated with New Orleans. But you don't have to travel to enjoy them. These simple tips will help you enjoy these signature treats from the comfort of your own home. The key is to not overmix that dough. We want light and fluffy. Let it rise. Then roll it out and cut it into 2-inch squares. Fry in high heat oil and cook in batches so you don't overcrowd the pan. Once they're nice and golden, remove them and cover them with a generous showering of powdered sugar. Do yourself a favor and be sure to eat them while they're hot. Add a strong cup of coffee and you'll be transported to New Orleans. I've never been more proud. Don't go anywhere. I'm making fried chicken right after this. Now we're gonna take a trip to the south and make fried chicken. It's golden and crispy on the outside and absolutely delicious on the inside. You could go get a bucket and that's delicious. But today I'm gonna show you all the tips and tricks so that you can make your very own bucket at home. It starts off with a marinade. And buttermilk is key to it because not only is it fatty and delicious, but it's also slightly acidic, and that starts making the meat even more juicy. So buttermilk goes in. We're gonna add an egg. Now we're gonna make that buttermilk even more flavorful by adding salt and spices. Coming in with salt, a little black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. Let's whisk all these ingredients together. Great. Marinade is looking good. It's salted, it's spiced. Now we're gonna put in our chicken. I'm using thighs and drumsticks. They're both dark meat. Dark meat is much more forgiving with cooking. It's more tender. Get each piece covered real well. We got our chicken and our marinade. Now we're gonna put it in the fridge and let time do its work. I'm gonna let this marinate until it's nice and juicy and full of flavor. So our chicken's been marinating. I'm taking it out of the fridge. Taking the chill off the chicken helps with even cooking. Now we're gonna make our crispy coating, and it starts with flour. We got baking powder here, and cornstarch is gonna make it even crispier. Struggle Whisk 7500, bring your dredge together. We want all that baking powder and cornstarch to be mixed evenly throughout the flour. Great. We're gonna fry in oil, and then we're gonna finish it in the oven. We've got our marinade. Our chicken is not so chilly anymore. This is really good. We're gonna dredge it. We take a piece of chicken, we lift it, drip this excess marinade off, put it right in the flour, use your grubby hand here to completely coat it in the flour, mix it around a couple times, and now we go into the fryer. We're looking for about a 325-degree oil temperature so the outside gets crispy without burning. Next piece. So we put it in there, it starts crisping up, it gets brown, Don't overcrowd your pan. You want that oil to be freely moving around each piece of chicken. I'm gonna flip over our first piece. And that's what we're looking for, that nice golden brown exterior. It's gonna be crunchy and fantastic. A lot of people think frying is all about fast, right? But fried chicken is actually slow and low. At this point, we can pull our first piece of chicken. I'm gonna lift it, I'm gonna drain it a little, and I'm gonna land it on my rack. Boom. And this way, I can finish them in the oven. All right, these look great. To the oven. All right. These are golden and fantastic, but now we're gonna cook them all the way through. Woo! These look amazing. Woo-wee! This looks golden and crispy and fantastic. The aromas are intoxicating, and all I wanna do is sink my teeth into them. Let's make a plate. It's golden, you got these nice crevices and edges, which are just screaming crunchy textural variants. And it's $2.48 a serving. Here we go. You got a drumstick right here. It's crispy on the outside and it is incredibly juicy on the inside. And that's all thanks to that marinade. I taste the paprika, I taste that garlic powder, and it is tender and juicy. It's really crispy because we fried it at the right temperature. And we didn't let it burn. We finished it in the oven. It takes some effort and some patience, but it's totally worth it. Stay tuned, because I've got a challenge coming up next. It's time for a struggle challenge. Let's see what you got for me today. I've got a whole bunch of frozen tater tots in my freezer. I guess I could reheat them, but that seems a little sad. What could I do to make it more exciting? Let's see what you got. Tater tots. I love a good tot. They're so delicious, and there's so many things you can make with them. Let's head over to the pantry and see what else you got. I'm sure we'll drum up something delicious. All righty then. We got all kinds of things here. I see peppers and olives and beans. Beans are good. Let's see what we got in the fridge. Sour cream and tortillas. You know what? I've got a great idea. Let's grab the eggs, grabbing the cheddar, grabbing the sour cream, the tortilla. Black beans, tater tots, tortilla, tomato, I got an avocado. When I go to California, I go to this coffee shop and they've got a breakfast burrito that I absolutely love. It's got tater tots and eggs inside. It's delicious. So I think we should take those tots, get them in the oven, and then we start figuring out the other components for the ideal California breakfast burrito tater tot sensation. Let's get started. Tray coming down. Boom. I'm gonna hit it with some tots. Da-da. Next thing I want to do is get these beans going. Let's open up our beans. Come in with some oil. We're gonna put our beans in. All right, I'm coming over here. I see oregano. I see cumin. I see cayenne. And I see garlic powder. So let's go with a little bit of cayenne here. Oregano. And we'll hit it with a little bit of garlic powder too. Got the salt. Very nice. Those spices are gonna make those beans taste really breakfasty burrito. It's also setting our path towards the flavor profile that we're looking for. Let that cook out and get really flavorful. All right, so I'm gonna take my beans, eggs. Struggle whisk 7500, crack up these yolks, mix them up real good. Get some oil in our pan. All right, now once the eggs are in there, I'll hit them with salt and pepper. Pretty loose fold egg here. I want nice ribbons. We need to get our tortilla. All right, I'm gonna put that on the plate. Egg is looking good. Let's get that egg right in the middle of that tortilla. All right. Boom. Let's prep our other ingredients real quick. I've got this tomato. Can't be a California breakfast burrito without an avocado. Let's get a couple black beans in there. Great. Tots are coming out. Let's get some tots in here. A wee bit of cheddar. This is gonna be delicious. And then I'm coming up this way, over, and fold again. And there we are. With our burrito is nice and tight. I think we should go right into the pan now to solidify this fold here. Got our burrito here. We're gonna cut the burrito in half. So our burrito looks pretty decent. You can see all of the ingredients in the cross section. Nothing seems to be mushy or anything like that, and it is holding together. I, however, am not the world's greatest burrito wrapper, but I do like the variety of colors, and I do like our sort of scrambled egg omelet thing that's happening in there. I think it's like a 7 on looks. Yeah, so as I hold it, it feels sturdy, so I'm gonna add half a point to myself back for that. 7.5 on looks. All right, let's take a bite. It's delicious. Man, you got those tater tots. They are salty, they are crispy, they are fantastic. And then immediately you've got a little bit of raw tomato and the avocado. And you're like, ooh, this is fresh, this is nice. And then you're hit with the melty cheese, the egg, and the beans, which add a bunch of flavor and give you all those comforting, awesome things that you're looking for. Absolutely delicious. Clearly, California knows what it's doing. This is a 10 on flavor. 7.5 plus 10, 17 and a half, 17 and a half over 20 gives us 87 and a half, which is a B plus. We crushed this challenge. If you're looking for something to do with frozen tater tots, make a burrito. You can make it your own, and it's gonna be great no matter what. Thank you for this challenge. French fries, cheese curds, warm gravy poured over top. We're gonna make a dish from Canada. It is called Poutine. It literally translates to messy in Canadian slang, but it's easy to make, and it is very delicious. Let's do it. I got some russet potatoes right here, and I'm gonna cut them into steak fries. Got our steak fries here. We're gonna put them in our bowl. We're baking these in oil. We will add salt and pepper. We're gonna add our steak fries to our sheet tray. I've got this lined with parchment so it won't stick. Perfect. These are going in a 450-degree oven for about 20 minutes, then I'll flip them and keep cooking. While those fries bake, I'm gonna make our gravy. We're gonna add some butter into a pan because we've gotta make a roux. A roux is what turns our broth into gravy. Butter. Equal parts butter, flour. I'm gonna come in with a real whisk, and I'm gonna cook this flour into the butter. All right, let's add some flavorings to our roux. Onion powder, garlic powder. Get a little bit of that happening. I like to add the onion powder and garlic powder now because it really wakes them up. So we got our roux here. We add some beef broth. What do you get? You get beef gravy. So I'll add some of the broth and mix it. So just a little bit at a time, try to prevent clumping. So that's nice and smooth. So now I'll add the rest of my broth. There are no lumps and our gravy is starting to thicken. Let's infuse even more flavor at the herb garden. Let's grab some thyme to infuse in our gravy, and I'll grab some parsley for later. All right, just grabbing some leaves of the thyme. This thyme is so delicate. We've got this rich beef broth with garlic and onion powder and thyme. It can be a little rich though, so I'm just gonna add a capful of apple cider vinegar to cut through that richness. The cool thing about making a gravy with a roux is that if it's not thick enough, if you keep letting it simmer, it'll continue to thicken. While that gravy's simmering to the perfect consistency, I'll chop up this parsley. Potatoes are out of the oven. The gravy is nice and thick. We've got the cheese curds. We have our optional parsley garnish. Let's make some poutine. Remember, poutine means mess. These look nice and messy. I'll take cheese curds here. Coming in hot with the gravy. Here we go. All right, a little parsley. You know, there's only one way to describe this plate of poutine. It looks deliciously messy. It's only $2.44 a serving. Let's dig in! We got our steak fries, and they are crispy and they are perfectly salted. And then they interact with this super lava beef gravy. And cutting through that richness are the squeaky and texturally diverse cheese curds. It didn't take a whole lot of effort to make it, but man, the flavor is through the roof. It's controlled chaos on a plate, and I'm here for it. Delicious. Today we sent our taste buds on a flavorful tour without even leaving the kitchen. We whipped up my favorite dishes from each destination with our best efforts to keep them as authentic as possible. It was scrumptious, delicious, and worth every penny. Next stop, nap time. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I answer your questions. How do you keep fried chicken breading from falling off after it's cooked? For sure, you want to make sure that that chicken is dry before you do anything. That's why so many people put a flour layer on the chicken first. Then you gotta have a really good glue, buttermilk or egg. Then you put the breadcrumbs on. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount. And it's really important that you eat that fried chicken pretty much right out of the oven. And definitely don't put it in a container where steam can form, because that'll separate it.